A young model has been haunted by the same strange dream over and over again. A dream where he is always with an unknown man. Yet he can never see his face because every single time, his eyes are covered with a strip of red silk, leaving him trapped in darkness filled with an intense, addictive sensation that feels far too real to be just imagination. Meng Xiu, a top model standing at the peak of fame and glamour, seems to have everything. But behind the spotlight, he struggles to survive in a harsh industry, forcing himself to attend fake and unpleasant social drinking parties just to secure resources and maintain his position. Everything begins to spiral out of control during one such event half a month ago when Director Fong personally hands him a drink, and the moment he finishes it, his world starts spinning, his limbs lose strength, and he immediately realizes the drink was spiked. As the director approaches with a sly smile, pretending to help him back to his room, Meng Xiu gathers the last bit of strength he has, pushes him away, and runs, triggering chaos behind him as people shout to catch him. But just as he turns a corner, his body completely gives out and he collapses, unable to move. At his most desperate moment, a tall man appears like his final hope, and Meng Xiu clings to him, trembling as he pleads for help before losing consciousness. The man, expression cold and unreadable, simply lifts him and carries him into a room. But this encounter is no coincidence. It is part of a calculated plan, because the man is Xiao Ran, an assassin who accepted a mission half a month ago to kill Meng Xiu, and now his target lies right in front of him, defenseless, with no witnesses since the hotel surveillance has already been hacked, making this the perfect opportunity. He even considers different ways to carry out the task, imagining how it would look, yet he doesn't act, because the only condition of the mission is that he must complete it on December 25th, giving him time. And during this period of silent observation, he finds himself increasingly interested in his target. Before leaving that night, he tears down a strip of red silk from the curtains and uses it to cover Meng Xiu's eyes, then whispers a message near his ear, telling him that if he ever wants him again, he should hang red silk by the window. The next morning, Meng Xiu wakes up in the hotel, his manager, Tina, angrily scolding the disgusting directors and swearing to seek justice for him. But when he shyly admits that someone saved him, she interrupts, explaining that she checked the hotel cameras and saw him entering the room, alone with no one else ever coming or going. Leaving, Meng Xiu shocked as he watches the footage himself and sees that it's true, making him believe it must have been nothing more than a vivid dream. However, after returning home, something compels him to hang a red silk cloth by his window, and that very night, the man from his dream appears in reality. From that moment on, whenever the red silk is hung, the man arrives exactly as expected, like a ghost, leaving behind no trace except the lingering proof in Meng Xiu's own body that everything truly happened, even though the clean sheets and locked doors suggest otherwise, blurring the line between reality and illusion until he can no longer tell the difference. Yet he becomes undeniably addicted to the presence of this mysterious man, determined to uncover the truth. He hangs the red silk again one night and resolves to face him. But as soon as the man arrives, his vision is once again covered, and when Meng Xiu grabs his wrist and asks if he can see his face, the man pauses only briefly before tightening the blindfold, silently refusing. Meng Xiu worries he might have angered him, and indeed the man's actions become rougher, yet instead of fear, Meng Xiu breathlessly admits that he doesn't care who he is, that he only knows he likes being with him, even the harshness, prompting Xiao Ran to coldly question why he still wants to see him, to which Meng Xiu replies that he simply cannot tell whether he is real or just an illusion, and when asked what he hopes for, he answers that he wants him to be real. A dangerous smile appears in Xiao Ran's eyes as he asks what Meng Xiu thinks his purpose would be if he were real, and then suddenly grips his neck, pushing him to the edge of suffocation, before loosening his hold, and calmly stating that he is not ready to discard him yet, assuming Meng Xiu would be terrified, only to be shocked when he hears him say that he would be willing to die by his hands. Later, as Meng Xiu loses consciousness from exhaustion, Xiao Ran looks at him with amusement, thinking of him as fragile and weak, almost like a toy that cannot withstand much, his hand unconsciously returning to that delicate neck as if it could snap at any moment. Yet he lets go again, deciding that since this toy entertains him, he will spare him for now and come back in 2.5 months to complete the mission. Time passes, and one day in a parking lot, Meng Shiyu is suddenly attacked by a stranger shouting that he ruined his relationship, accusing him of being the reason his girlfriend left him. And just as the knife is about to strike, Xia Ren appears out of nowhere, swiftly subduing the attacker and kicking him aside, leaving Meng Shiyu stunned as he watches the man calmly adjust his clothes as if nothing happened, while Xia Ren internally thinks that this fragile prey can only belong to him. Meng Shiyu, still trembling, thanks him, and Xia Ren gestures toward the car, telling him to get in. But Meng Shiyu stands frozen, unable to move, which Xia Ren assumes is due to fear, only for him to softly admit that his legs have suddenly lost all strength, prompting Xia Ren to step forward to support him. But just then his manager arrives, calling out to him and questioning why he is still in the parking lot, explaining she came to pick him up, causing Xia Ren to withdraw his hand quietly as Meng Shiyu tearfully explains everything, crediting the man for saving him, while the manager expresses her gratitude and asks for a way to repay him. But Xia Ren simply refuses and turns to leave, only to be stopped by Meng Shiyu calling out, revealing that ever since he offended Director Li by publicly opposing him, dangerous situations like this have started happening, implying that this attack was likely revenge from someone who could not tolerate being defied. Ever since that incident, Meng Shiyu admits he has never faced danger like this before, and it all started after he offended Director Li, making it obvious that this was nothing but revenge, because after publicly opposing him last time, a petty man like Li would rather destroy what he couldn't control. His manager nods seriously, agreeing that Director Li is known for being narrow-minded, and that failing once won't stop him. So even if they can't fight against powerful people, they can at least hire a bodyguard for protection. But Meng Shiyu hesitates, pointing out that no security company would dare take the job after he angered someone like Li. And hearing this, Xia Ren steps in at the perfect moment, coldly offering, "I'll be your bodyguard," because if anything happens to Meng Shiyu too soon, his mission would fail as well. Meng Shiyu is stunned, asking if he's serious, then quickly flustered, insisting it's not that he doubts him, just that it's unexpected, praising his strong build, quick reflexes, and bravery, saying having someone like him as a bodyguard would be a blessing, while the manager feels uncertain but is eventually convinced. When Meng Shiyu insists, his instincts tell him this man is capable, so Xia Ren sets a condition that he will only work for 2 months. And without hesitation, Meng Shiyu agrees, entrusting his safety entirely to him, while deep down Xia Ren finds the idea amusing, thinking that personally ending the life of prey he has protected will be far more thrilling. But for now, he needs to learn how to act like a proper bodyguard. The next day, the two go shopping, and when passers-by begin staring, Meng Shiyu quietly admits he doesn't like being watched, and in response, Xia Ren suddenly lifts him onto his shoulder and runs off at full speed, leaving Meng Shiyu stunned and impressed, praising his professionalism. And moments like these keep happening, whether it's casually carrying him away or swiftly pulling him aside when birds swoop too close during a morning run, making Meng Shiyu increasingly rely on him, even leaning against his chest and thanking him warmly, though to outsiders, their closeness looks ambiguous enough to attract attention, proven when the sound of a camera clicking reveals a paparazzi hiding nearby, excitedly capturing photos of the rising supermodel. In what looks like a secret relationship, Xia Ren immediately becomes alert, shielding Meng Shiyu and glaring toward the source, ready to deal with the photographer, but Meng Shiyu stops him, calmly saying that the more attention they give him, the worse it will get, and that Tina can handle it. So Xia Ren restrains himself, though his sharp glare alone is enough to intimidate. 3 days later, during a commercial shoot, fans crowd the location, and Xia Ren does everything he can to keep them from getting too close. But when an overly aggressive fan tries to take advantage of the chaos, Xia Ren reacts instantly, pulling Meng Shiyu into his arms and turning to block the hand, telling him to stay close. And instead of panic, Meng Shiyu simply melts into his chest, completely trusting him as he lets himself be carried away. Back in the dressing room, Xia Ren waits nearby as the assistant brings in the outfit. But just as they're about to help him change, The assistant suddenly rushes off to the bathroom, hurriedly shoving the clothes into Xia Ran's hands and asking him to help since the photographer is already waiting, leaving Xia Ran staring blankly at the complicated outfit, completely unsure how it's supposed to be worn. While on the other side, Meng Shiyu has already started undressing, casually telling him to go ahead, joking that he's just a living mannequin anyway, which gives Xia Ran the freedom to experiment, though that freedom quickly leads to trouble when a decorative flower on the outfit gets caught in a chain and snaps off, leaving both of them frozen in awkward silence. When the assistant returns and sees the broken piece, he almost blurts something out before catching Meng Shiyu's warning look and stopping himself, while Xia Ran awkwardly admits he broke it. But instead of being upset, Meng Shiyu smiles, takes the flower, and cleverly pins it into his hair, saying it actually looks better this way, earning immediate praise from the assistant, while then turning his back and signaling Xia Ran to help fasten the hidden buttons. As Xia Ran's rough fingers brush against his smooth skin, flashes of their past encounters surface in his mind, causing him to momentarily lose focus until Meng Shiyu turns and asks what's wrong, snapping him back as he quickly finishes and brushes it off, receiving a bright, genuine smile in return. Yet despite that warmth, Xia Ran can't help but think that he still prefers the version of Meng Shiyu that breaks down completely in his arms. That night, the door to Meng Shiyu's bedroom is quietly pushed open, and Xia Ran walks in holding a strip of red silk. The moment the blindfold covers his eyes, Meng Shiyu wakes up, deliberately acting surprised when his smile in front of fans and clients had become nothing more than a mask, and he was slowly forgetting what genuine emotions even felt like. Under that pressure, he craved an escape, and Xia Ran became that escape, like an addictive presence in the darkness fulfilling all his hidden desires. Even though he knew it was wrong, he still surrendered himself to it. The next day, Meng Shiyu lies stretched out on the sofa, his back aching as he mutters complaints to himself, wondering why it feels like he's the one worn out, while nearby, Xia Ran is lifting weights and notices something is off. Asking about his condition, Meng Shiyu quickly makes up an excuse, saying he overdid his workout at the gym last night, which only earns him a knowing smile from Xia Ran as he teasingly questions whether he really works out at night, prompting Meng Shiyu to confidently reply that as a top model, he has to work harder than others. Taking advantage of the moment, Meng Shiyu casually asks Xia Ran to massage his back, claiming it helps muscle recovery. And although Xia Ran initially intends to refuse, he finds Meng Shiyu already lying face down, shirt slightly lifted to reveal smooth skin, leaving him no choice but to step forward. It's the first time he has seen Meng Shiyu's body so clearly under daylight, and even through the thin layer of clothing, the sensation feels strangely different, making him subconsciously think that nighttime is still better, when everything feels more intense. Lost in his thoughts, his hand drifts lower without realizing it until Meng Shiyu suddenly calls out, asking where he's touching, snapping him back to reality as he corrects himself and moves his hands properly, completely unaware that Meng Shiyu is secretly smiling to himself. As Xia Ran presses down on his shoulders, he can't help but think that this person has absolutely no sense of danger, wondering who exactly wants him dead, yet at the same time, all he finds himself wishing for is for night to come faster. Just then, the manager suddenly bursts into the room and freezes at the sight in front of her, staring between the two of them before glancing down at the photo in her hand, her expression turning into one of pure shock as she blurts out in disbelief that Meng Shiyu is actually caught up in a scandal. The cold and calculating assassin is absolutely convinced that he's the one toying with the young star in the palm of his hand. Yet without realizing it, Meng Shiyu smiles and lightly asks Tina why she would say something so strange, only for her to immediately press a photo into his hand. A secretly taken shot of him and Xia Ran jogging together, captured from an angle that makes them look unusually close and intimate. The paparazzi is using this photo to blackmail her, demanding 1 million yuan or threatening to release it to the media, and Meng Shiyu glances at Xia Ran, inwardly scoffing at the absurd amount, knowing very well that someone with such a bad reputation in the industry would never truly delete the original even if paid, and would likely use it for repeated extortion. While Tina is visibly stressed, Meng Shiyu remains calm, reassuring her that things will work out somehow, that problems always find a way to resolve themselves. While Xia Ran, who has been silent the entire time, finally takes the photo and examines it, giving Tina the chance to pull Meng Shiyu aside and whisper her concerns, pointing out that earlier she noticed the way this so-called bodyguard looked at him during the massage, that his gaze didn't seem appropriate at all. Meng Shiyu simply laughs it off, saying they don't know him well enough yet, and confidently assures her he will handle the relationship properly without causing trouble. After seeing Tina off, Meng Shiyu barely has time to relax before Xia Ran questions him directly, revealing he heard everything, asking how exactly he plans to handle their relationship. Meng Shiyu jokingly replies that things will stay exactly as they are, a simple and proper employer-bodyguard relationship, insisting that Xia Ran clearly looks like a straight man with strong principles, someone who has always kept his distance beyond work and couldn't possibly have improper thoughts. Hearing this, Xia Ran recalls everything that has happened between them and internally mocks those words, thinking how completely unguarded this famous star really is, before turning the question back on him, asking whether Meng Shiyu himself is also that proper. And when Meng Shiyu hesitates, Xia Ran answers for him. He likes men. Embarrassed, Meng Shiyu admits it but quickly adds that Xia Ran shouldn't worry because he would never cross the line with him, revealing that he already has someone in his heart, someone he lost contact with but has recently found traces of again. In an instant, Xia Ran's expression turns cold as he recalls that night and the person Meng Shiyu mentioned, wondering if that unknown man is the one making him so happy. But Meng Shiyu's expression suddenly shifts, his eyes quickly filling with emotion as he claims he was only comforting Tina earlier and is actually troubled, explaining that the photo is just an excuse and that rivals and enemies in the industry will seize this opportunity like sharks drawn to blood, and if his reputation collapses, everything will fall apart, even Xia Ran's job. This makes Xia Ran realize the seriousness of the situation as he looks at the photo now crushed in his hand. That same night, Xia Ran goes to find the paparazzi, only to discover someone has already gotten there first. And from the man's condition, he recognizes the use of a substance that destroys the central nervous system, leaving the victim in a permanent vegetative state, making it clear that an unknown third party has intervened. Just then, his phone rings, and Meng Shiyu's voice comes through saying he's in trouble. Xia Ran rushes back and finds him collapsed in the bathroom, unable to get up, his expression complicated yet relieved, as he quickly wraps him in a towel and carries him to the bedroom. Though he sets him down gently, Meng Shiyu still complains of pain everywhere, especially in his leg, and after checking, Xia Ran determines it's only a dislocation, not a fracture, and resets it with precise force, causing Meng Shiyu to cry out before quickly calming down, even joking that this proves he's not an ordinary person. Xia Ran responds dryly, implying that normal people don't manage to injure themselves so badly just from bathing, prompting Meng Shiyu to try to silence him in embarrassment, only for the towel to slip, forcing him to quickly cover himself again and ask Xia Ran to bring clothes from the wardrobe. Xia Ran remains unmoved, pointing out that they're both men, but Meng Shiyu insists it's still awkward, leading Xia Ran to tease him about previously calling him a gentleman, forcing Meng Shiyu to change the topic by questioning how Xia Ran navigated his home so easily despite supposedly being there for the first time, to which Xia Ran calmly replies it was just instinct and somehow correct. The atmosphere turns strange, and as the night grows late, Xia Ran points out that Meng Shiyu's injured leg makes it inconvenient for him to move around, so as his bodyguard, he will stay the night, simply asking to be paid for overtime, leaving Meng Shiyu with no reason to refuse as he lies down and tells him to make himself comfortable, a phrase that, to Xia Ran, carries a completely different meaning. Even so, considering Meng Shiyu's condition, he restrains himself and acts with unusual patience. Yet his possessiveness continues to grow stronger, firmly believing that only he has the right to leave any mark on this fragile man, unaware that throughout everything, because of his injured leg, Meng Shiyu is forced to rest at home. And although his manager suggests hiring a caregiver, he refuses, saying it would be inconvenient to have a stranger in the house. and that Xia Ran can take care of him. Instead, since protecting him is already part of his job, so he might as well handle daily needs too, making it both safer and more convenient. When the manager asks for Xia Ran's opinion, he glances meaningfully at Meng Shiyu's injured leg and agrees, though he adds that this would come at a different price. And when asked what compensation he wants, he simply looks at Meng Shiyu with a subtle, unreadable expression and says he'll collect his payment directly from the person himself. At lunchtime, Xia Ran plans to order takeout, but Meng Shiyu immediately refuses, pointing out there are ingredients in the fridge and playfully asking him to cook a special lunch, only to hear Xia Ran bluntly admit he doesn't know how to cook, which leads to Meng Shiyu offering to teach him, though Xia Ran has no interest, forcing Meng Shiyu to switch tactics and act pitiful, saying he doesn't want to trouble him but will drag his injured body to the kitchen himself. He hops off the sofa and awkwardly makes his way toward the kitchen, secretly counting in his head until, right on cue, Xia Ran sighs and tells him to stop acting, grabbing him by the collar and putting him back down before taking over, muttering about how troublesome he is. Xia Ran opens the fridge and starts preparing the ingredients, while Meng Shiyu cheerfully watches, teasing him about cleaning the fish properly and not missing a single scale, making Xia Ran think that this is somehow more troublesome than taking someone's life. Yet his knife skills are flawless, quickly making him look like a professional chef. Watching him, Meng Shiyu is clearly amused and impressed, even joking about his skills and asking if he might secretly be an undercover officer, only to laugh it off himself, saying he tried to act along, but as a model, he just can't fake it well. While Xia Ran looks at his innocent expression and warns him not to think the world is such a kind place. Surprisingly, the food turns out delicious, and after eating, Meng Shiyu mentions that his injury needs treatment, suggesting they go downstairs to a nearby clinic together. And when Xia Ran questions how he plans to go, Meng Shiyu casually reveals he doesn't need to walk, asking Xia Ran to bring out a wheelchair he bought during a previous injury. After helping him sit properly and making sure everything looks presentable, Xia Ran pushes him out to the clinic, where they arrive just in time to see a young doctor being harassed by a group of thugs, one of them shouting that his mother died after taking the prescribed medicine and demanding a large compensation, while the doctor insists it was just standard blood pressure medication and clearly not the cause, making it obvious the man is trying to extort him. Seeing this, Meng Shiyu suggests they leave and go elsewhere, but Xia Ran doesn't move, and when Meng Shiyu turns back, he realizes Xia Ran has already let go of the wheelchair and is walking toward the clinic, telling him to stay put while he handles it, though interfering isn't usually Xia Ran's style. Something about the situation makes Meng Shiyu suspect that he and the doctor know each other. Inside, just as the thug tries to strike the doctor, Xia Ran steps in and grabs his wrist, and within minutes, he takes down the entire group, sending them fleeing in panic while the leader shouts threats about being from the Black Tiger Gang and promises to return with backup. The young doctor it, and ends up with a faint white mustache on his lips, which Xia Ran notices, narrowing his eyes as he asks if it's really that good, prompting Meng Shiyu to teasingly offer him a taste, only for Xia Ran to swipe the milk from his lips with his finger and try it himself, pausing in confusion at the lack of flavor while Meng Shiyu laughs and explains that pure milk is naturally bland, suggesting flavored options next time, like banana milk, which Xia Ran replies he might try someday. After that, Xia Ran carries him to the bathroom, insisting on staying inside to prevent another accident, which makes Meng Shiyu protest, asking if he plans to just stand there watching, only for Xia Ran to calmly reply that he could even help if needed since he's a proper man, making Meng Shiyu internally curse the ridiculous act and negotiate for him to at least wait outside. Xia Ran agrees, but leaves the door wide open, leaving Meng Shiyu no choice but to bathe like that. While outside, Xia Ran grows increasingly restless, already thinking that once Meng Shiyu's injury heals, he will take back everything with interest. The next day, Meng Shiyu lounges on the sofa, openly admiring Xia Ran as he trains nearby, silently noting his strength, when suddenly his phone buzzes with a message saying, "The task has been completed and his people are waiting next door." Xia Ran glances over, and Meng Shiyu quickly hides the phone, flashing a bright smile while secretly planning how to send him away. Right then, a bottle of medicinal oil accidentally falls and shatters on the floor, and Meng Shiyu looks both guilty and pitiful, claiming he was trying to apply it himself but messed up, while Xia Ran kneels to pick up the shards, dryly remarking that someone who can injure himself while bathing breaking a bottle isn't surprising, making Meng Shiyu huff and mock annoyance before dramatically saying he'll just endure the pain without medicine, which finally pushes Xia Ran to grab his coat and head out to buy a new one, warning him to stay put. The moment the door closes, Meng Shiyu's smile disappears, as he wonders whether Xia Ran truly went to buy medicine or simply used it as an excuse to meet that doctor. In the next room, two men are already waiting, and as Meng Shiyu enters, one of them excitedly demands to know who dared harm him, only to be immediately silenced by the sudden coldness in Meng Shiyu's gaze, forcing him to apologize, while Meng Shiyu casually smiles again, saying that if they're lucky, they'll understand everything by the end of the year, but if not, they may never meet again. The conversation shifts to business, revealing a massive corporate acquisition worth billions, which Meng Shiyu had already delegated entirely to them, showing complete trust while also acknowledging their efforts, though he sharply calls out one of them for failing to control his subordinates, specifically linking him to the Black Tiger Gang's recent trouble, making it clear he expects better discipline. When the topic of the paparazzi incident comes up, they confirm it was handled cleanly, though they mention someone else showed up afterward, which Meng Shiyu dismisses, already knowing it was Xia Ran trying to help him. Before leaving, he hands over a business card, instructing them to investigate the clinic and especially the young doctor there, hinting that this may be his true objective. Meanwhile, when Xia Ran returns with the medicine and approaches the door, his sharp instincts immediately pick up on a single strand of hair caught near the entrance. And in that instant, he knows someone has been in and out,